Good morning, everyone. So, in last class itself, we have completed our lesson light, shadows, and reflection. So, today, just we are going to discuss about the book back exercise questions only. Just 4 questions are given in your textbook. In today's session, just I'm going to discuss that 4 questions with you. Okay. So, better take your textbook with you. Open the lesson light, shadow, and reflection. So, in your textbook, the first question given was it's like a decoding, this arranging the sentence, arranging the words. Okay. So, first question rearrange the boxes given below to make a sentence that helps us understand opaque objects. Rearrange the boxes given below to make a sentence that helps us understand opaque objects. So some boxes are given. In each box some letters are also given, isn't it? So you have to rearrange the box. So from that box we can understand that one statement which shows that regarding opaque object. So you have to arrange the boxes from that box we can get a statement. That statement is related with opaque object. Okay, so I have arranged the boxes. So from that box what I got is opaque objects make shadows. We have known very well about that, isn't it? Because transparent object, what it will do, it will allow the light to pass through it, isn't it? So it never makes shadow. What about translucent object? Translucent is an object. It can either both, it will do both. That is, it can pass some amount of light as well as it will block some amount of light. So it will create shadow, but it's not very clear dark shadow. It is somewhat some desired amount of shadow will be there. Okay. What about opaque objects? Opaque objects never allow the light to pass through them. So it will be blocked. So based on that, the light which cannot able to pass, no, so that portion alone become dark. So shadows will be formed. Okay. So what is the statement we got from that above boxes? Opaque objects make shadows. Clear? Okay. So, shall I go to the second question? Yes. Classify the objects or materials given below as opaque, transparent or translucent, and luminous or non-luminous. So, below this question, so many objects and materials are given. What you are going to do, you have to go through this names of those materials and you have to say whether it is a transparent object or translucent object or opaque object or luminous object or non-luminous object. Okay. So first we should know what are these things first of all. Then only we can classify the object into this any one of the type, isn't it? What do you mean by opaque? Opaque objects means what? It never allow the light to pass through. They are opaque. What about translucent? It will pass some amount of light. What about transparent? It can able to pass the light completely. What about luminous? The objects which can produce light, they are all luminous objects. What do you mean by non-luminous? Non-luminous meaning illuminated object. So what do you mean that non-luminous means what? Opposite to luminous, that is which cannot able to produce light. So based on this 5 categories only we are going to classify the material and we have to write the name. So here I have written in the form of short form. So for opaque it was given OP. For transparent it is given as TP. Translucent TL. Luminous LU. Non-luminous NLU. I have given like this. Better we will check with each one. First one is air. Air is present everywhere, isn't it? It is present in our surrounding. Atmosphere contains air, isn't it? So even though air is present, we can able to see the other person. We can able to see the bus. We can able to see the buildings. You can able to see a car. In between you and a car, air is there, but we can able to see, which means that what? Air is a transparent object. So that only light is easily passing, so that we can able to see the objects, other objects present in the air. Okay, so air is a transparent object. Next thing, water. What about water? Water is one of the natural source, and for example, in swimming pool or some wherever you can take any example, you can able to see the objects which are present below the water or under the water, everything. So water is also a transparent thing. Okay, next, a piece of rock. Rock is a, so what do you mean by rock? It's a big stone, isn't it? And what about it? Whether it is transparent? No. Whether it is translucent? No. It is an opaque, because when the light falls on the rock, what it will do? The light cannot able to pass through the rock. So the shadow of that rock will be formed, isn't it? So shadow is formed only in opaque object. So piece of rock is a opaque object. What about a sheet of plain glass? Normal plain glass. That is a mirror in your car. Mirrors in the car, plain glass, isn't it? Specs, plain glass. So even though we are wearing specs, we can able to see other objects, other things present in our surrounding. So it is also a transparent object. What about an umbrella? Umbrella, that is an opaque object. A sheet of carbon paper. Carbon paper, I don't know how many of you know that, which is used to take like a, you can take a copy, that is of a hand script. If you want to write two times, that is two more copies, what they will do, they will keep a carbon paper below, isn't it? That is paper below one carbon paper and one more paper. If you write on the top paper, with the help of that carbon paper, the second paper will also be, your hand script will be also be present in that second paper also. Okay, so what about a sheet of carbon paper? It won't allow the light to pass, so it is an opaque object. What about a lighted torch? Here it is given lighted torch, that is you switch on the torch. If you switch on the torch, what happened? The light will be produced from the torch. So the objects which are producing light, they are all what objects? Luminous objects. So here it is given Lu. Okay. Next, kerosene stove. Stove is also, once you light on, that will also produce heat. That is light, it gives light, isn't it? So that is also a luminous object. A sheet of aluminum. Aluminum sheet. In most of the hotels, whatever you are getting in parcel, now they are using aluminum sheets, aluminum foils and all, isn't it? So aluminum foil, that is that a transparent, translucent or opaque? What it is? It is an opaque object. What about a mirror? We very well know, because while talking in lesson, mirror, we have taken the best example as a mirror, isn't it? Because mirror is an opaque object, hence only it will shows the reflection of our face. The image will be formed in the mirror. So when the image will form, if it is a opaque object, if it is transparent, the light will pass. It should be a plain mirror, isn't it? So mirror is an opaque object. Next, wooden board. Wooden board cupboards we are having, right? That is also opaque. What about fog? In morning time, during in hilly areas and all, you can find fog, snow, fog and all, isn't it? So fog, you can find things, but it should be very dull, isn't it? Yes, that is translucent object. Next, a lighter fluorescent tube. A fluorescent tube, tube light, fluorescent tube light. That is, it will be it gives light, so it is a luminous object. A flame, the flame of a gas burner, again light, so it is luminous. A sheet of cellophane, cellophane tape, have you seen? It is transparent. Next, sun. Sun is the natural source, we very well know, and it is a luminous, natural luminous object. isn't it? The remaining thing, that is fluorescent tube, gas banner, they are all artificial luminous object, but it is sun is the natural luminous object. Next one, a sheet of polythene paper, that is transparent. Next, CD, you are having CD, no? CD means compact disc. Yes, that is opaque. What about smoke? Smoke, the vehicles, in vehicles, smoke coming out of the vehicles, it is somewhat translucent, isn't it? Then a piece of red hot iron. Red hot iron, it will burn, that is, it will be somewhat reddish in color, and if you keep a paper near it will burn, so it is a luminous. A wall, definitely it is an opaque object. A sheet of cardboard, opaque object. A wire mesh is a transparent object. Then firefly, what do you mean by firefly? Minmini puchi, isn't it? That is also one of the natural luminous object. I already told one more natural luminous object before itself. What is that one? That is what it is? Sun. Another one is firefly. It's a natural luminous object. What about moon? Moon is not a luminous object. It is a non-luminous object. Why? Because it won't produce the light. It will reflect the light of the sun. So it is a non-luminous object. I hope you are somewhat clear about the objects. What are the objects? Whether it is transparent or translucent or opaque, otherwise luminous or illuminous object. Clear? Okay. So the next question, can you think of creating a shape that would give a circular shadow if held in one way and a rectangular shadow if held in another way? See, well, when we talked about shadow formation, in before session itself I told that shadows never show the exact shape of the object. Have you remembered that? The shadows formed never shows the exact image of the object. Suppose take a car. Okay, imagine a car is there and sun is it's on the top. That is, it should be nearly noon time. The shadow from the top, only the lower portion alone will be, the shadow will be formed. It remains like a rectangle, but actually the car shape is somewhat different shape, isn't it? So shadows never shows the shape of the object. So here what the question, you have to say a shape that give circular shadow in one way. That is, when the light passes in one direction, it will show a circular shadow. Suppose when the light falls in another direction, it should show a rectangle shadow. Can you say like any one of the object? Yes, we can say. The best is cuboid shape, anything. Whether it is a cylinder or a pencil or whatever it is. That is, for example, even a cylinder. Imagine a cylinder. When the light falls on the sideways, you can find the circular shadow. See here, when this is the light source, when the light falls on this way, so this portion alone will be blocked, so that portion is circular. It looks like a circular shadow. Suppose when the object is placing in this direction, that is placing like this, and the same light is falls in this direction, this portion will be blocked, so it shows a rectangular shadow. So I repeat, the shape of the shadow should not be as remain as the shape of the object. Okay. The last question, in a completely dark room, if you hold up a mirror in front of you, will you see a reflection of yourself in the mirror? First of all, mirror is an opaque object, isn't it? So no transparency, so it won't allow the light to pass. So what it will do, it will show the image by means of reflection. Okay, so definitely you can able to see your image by means of reflection, but here it was given it is a completely dark room, which means no light at all. When will the image will be formed? Only in the presence of light. For reflection we have to think of two things. One is what? It should be an opaque object and another one is light source. Two things are necessary. Just recall the previous videos. For reflection, if the reflection to be happened, what are the two things you have to need? One is light and another one is opaque object. Here mirror, opaque object is there, but no light because it is completely dark room. So without light, no reflection is taking place, so no image will be formed. So the answer is no. Okay, understand? So these are the 4 questions given in our textbook. Go through the video again so that you will get the clear idea. Okay, thank you.